Hi, my name is Cedric. Welcome in week 2 of AI Decoded. Last week I introduced you to Ask Instacart, which is a chatbot that you can use to prompt your way through your grocery buying experience and to find the things that you want to buy to make certain meals. Now we have a similar story this week that comes from the other side of the globe. In New Zealand, a company called Park and Safe launched a chatbot which allowed people to insert manually what ingredients they have left at home, and then based on that they could actually make a new recipe.
So what you do is put a minimum of 3 ingredients into the Savvy Meal Bot.
Give it a second to think, and the Savvy Meal Bot will come up with a recipe for you.
The problem was that people were inserting ingredients that not at all went together, and that made for some very funny recipes, like for example an Oreo wok. The result was not only funny but also dangerous. There were some recipes with chlorine gas or pepper spray. And the lesson here is quite clear. Like any other tool that you're developing, you have to do rigorous testing. And in this case, when you're using AI, it's easy to get a little bit lazy and think that those steps are maybe not necessary because the coding process itself goes so fast, but it's actually important to do that as well. And there are some tools that use AI to make the process maybe a little bit easier or a little bit faster, and you can definitely use them as well. But in this instance, it would have been a very easy solution to have a little check like, are these ingredients actually eatable? Or for example, are these ingredients combined frequently?
If the recipe is a hit,
You can download and save it for another day.
So here's my leftover chicken fried rice.
And now for dessert, coconut banana bread pudding.
The second story is also quite controversial. It's about Zoom. The news broke that they had quietly changed their terms and conditions so that they could use any video or any text from your Zoom calls to train an AI model. Obviously, people that use this for medical consultations or for educational purposes didn't really like this, and a lot of people canceled their subscription. Now, Smita Hassim, Chief Product Officer at Zoom, clarified that they only do this when people actually give their consent. For example, when they're using the AI summarization tool in Zoom. To give you my 2 cents, I think this is a story that is playing on 2 sides. The first one being that Zoom is struggling. They announced also this week that they want their employees to come back to the office, which is a strange move from a company that really makes their money from the fact that people are not meeting in the office but are meeting online. And I think that they really sense this opportunity that, okay, if we train a model on what is probably one of the largest data sets of professional communication, videos between people, I think they have something very valuable at hand, and they know that, and they want to tap into that opportunity. The second part is that I find it a little bit hypocritical that people immediately cancel their subscription as if they're shocked that their data is being used to train AI models. This is something that has been happening for years. Obviously, the barrier might be a little bit lower because it's a Zoom call and they see your face. But also, for example, whatever you post on Facebook, on Twitter, those companies are allowed to use that to train an AI model. Third story this week is from Alan, which is probably one of the coolest insurance companies in Europe. They are very much on the forefront of generative AI. It's a company that I will be following closely, and if I get the opportunity to talk to the founders, I would really like to do that. Actually, the CEO and co-founder of Alan, Jean-Charles Samuelien, is also one of the co-founders of Mistral AI, where he serves as a non-executive advisor. And for those who don't know, Mistral AI is a startup that was launched earlier this year, and they raised, I think, close to 100 million euros based on a founding team of 3 people, Arthur Mensch, Timothy Lacroix, and Guillaume Lample. And they basically just had the plan of wanting to be a competitor of OpenAI, but they didn't have the GPUs yet, so don't really know how that story is going, but maybe we'll get an update soon. But back to Alan. So Alan, what are they doing? They are using generative AI in their customer support. When you ask questions to Alan, you will now sometimes get an automatic answer that is using a large language model and their FAQ base to process the question that you have and to provide you with an answer. But what I really like in their approach is that they're very transparent about the fact that it's not a real human, and that they still allow you to get in contact with a human if the answer that you got is not relevant or you think that it's better to communicate with somebody directly. And with this, they're really decreasing the time that it takes for customers to find the answers that they need. And for the final story, we stay in the insurance sector. Axa announced that they are launching Axa Secure GPT, which from my understanding basically is the exact same thing as ChatGPT, but hosted on a private server, making sure that there is no data going outside of the organization. This is a move that we will see a lot more in the future. And I really just want to point to the fact that this is a really easy first use case that you can implement in your company. This is not a matter of months. This is not a matter of weeks, not even a matter of days. Setting something up like this is just a few hours, and it can really help you on one side show to your customers or to your partners that you are innovating, and on the other side that you're doing that in a well-defined security framework. The next logical step for Axa is to take a page of the Allen playbook and to fine-tune those models with their own data, for example, questions that their customers have, and introduce that model also in their customer-facing applications. So with that, I want to end the second week, and of course I look forward to your comments. If you have ideas on how that I can improve this show, or if you have stories that you want me to get into, make sure you share them with me. I really look forward to reading them and seeing you next week.